Hi and welcome to another edition of Podcasting Made Easy. My name is Steve Hart, author of the book Podcasting Made Easy. I want to talk a bit today about software, the all-important software. God knows how complex it can get in 10 seconds flat once you start deciding that you want to start recording a podcast and editing and outputting the MP3 and all the rest of it. When I first started podcasting, I was lucky enough to have a copy of Adobe's Creative Suite version 5.5. I bought it to get the InDesign app for magazine layout and Photoshop, and I was doing a bit of video editing as well, so that came with Premiere Pro, which was great. And it was all fine. And then one day I thought, I'm going to start podcasting, and oh, lucky me, I've got Adobe Audition as part of the CS package. And I used it for a good few years. Basically, it was kind of free because I'd already bought the suite as a one kind of fee thing, and you pay for updates as and when. As it turned out, CS 5.5, which is ancient now, of course, only had one more update to version 6 before Adobe transferred to a new system where you basically have to pay a monthly fee to use any given app, and that was very expensive. I didn't need to do it because my software was working just fine on my old Apple Mac, and then when I bought a new Mac, my hand was forced. CS 5.5 wouldn't install on the new Mac. The operating system wasn't compatible with the older software. That's fair enough, that happens. And so at that point I had a choice. Do I stump up cash to carry on using Adobe Audition and the other apps that I use, such as InDesign and Photoshop, or start looking for alternatives for all of them? Initially, I looked at Audacity. At the time, that was a destructive editor. I think it's changed a bit since. And the problem with Audacity back then was that if you did edit or alter the audio on the timeline, it was changed forever. So if you cut something out or added an effect or whatever, it was stuck. That was it. You couldn't kind of undo it quickly at all, in fact. So the only way around it was to give a backup copy of the original recording, and then essentially you might have to kind of start the project all over again if you've really messed up, which can happen. So I started looking around for alternatives, and there were loads of options for apps to record and edit. To record your podcast, record your voice, and edit the finished production. So I searched high and low, tried out a few, and I settled on an app called Reaper, which is really superb. Now, like Pro Tools, it's made for musicians, although I wouldn't put it in the same category as Pro Tools. And if you're using Pro Tools just to record a podcast, well, you might be cracking a nut with a huge mallet. You don't need Pro Tools or Audition, anything that advanced to record and edit a podcast. So Reaper is great for loads of reasons. First off, it's available for all the platforms. That's Linux, your PC, Windows box. I wouldn't have one in the house, frankly, but plenty of people seem to have them. And of course, it works on the Apple Mac as well. And it gets updated almost every 2 or 3 weeks. Now, like I say, it's designed for musicians, but it's perfectly sound for recording and editing your podcast. It's a multi-track editor recorder. It's absolutely superb. One thing I did notice when I first started using it was the sound from the app was very different, not quite as warm as the sound from Adobe Audition. And I guess, I thought it was very strange at first, but then if you kind of think about it logically, if you buy a different microphone, or say if you're a live performer, for example, you have a different mic and a different amp and a different speaker, and whichever way, and if you get a new amp, that new amplifier might be give you a slightly warmer sound or a crisper sound than the older amp, and different speakers will give you a different sound as well, and different microphones sound different as well. So it should be no surprise that when you switch from one app to another for recording and editing, you're probably going to get a slightly different sound. It's not going to be exactly the same because the code is different. Anyway, having overcome that, and I would wager that Reaper gives you a more natural sounding recording than Adobe. And I'm going back a few years now. I haven't used Adobe Audition for, it's got to be 6 years. Having switched to Reaper, which is designed for musicians, there's a few little things you need to do just to turn off things like the beats to the bar and the BPM and snap to grid and things like this, which can easily be done. Now, if you buy Reaper, and it's free to download, it's free to use. I think it's still got an unlimited trial. It's really, really good, and the price is tiny. I'm not going to say a number because it's bound to change at some point, and I don't want this video to be out of date, but it's really a small price to pay for a fantastic bit of software that's got loads of VST plugins, and it's a full bit of kit, and I wouldn't use anything else now. Highly recommend it. But it's got an unlimited trial, but I would definitely check out Booth Junkie. That's the one, Booth Junkie. Great guy, and he's done a full tutorial on using Reaper. So do check out Booth Junkie and his tutorials on using Reaper. They're pretty old. His videos are a bit dated, but the basics remain the same, and do check that out. If you just want to record your voice in a very simple app, then I recommend Ocen Audio, OCEN Audio. This is 100% free. They do ask for a donation via PayPal if you want to throw them a bone and give them a few bob, which I highly recommend you do. The Ocen Audio app again is Linux, PC, Windows, and Apple Mac, and it's a 100% sound recorder and editor. Do check that out. Now, in addition to recording audio, you might need to create some artwork now and again as images for your podcasts, and there's lots of ways to do that now. Of course, AI offering plenty of options, and there's Canva and all sorts of ways to create the artwork you need, and that's fine and dandy if you're into that. I actually haven't used them myself. I'm more of a kind of hands-on, do-it-yourself, and you can often tell by my artwork it's not that great, but I do enjoy doing it. But having abandoned the Adobe platform because of its high monthly fees, I needed to find alternatives for InDesign, the page layout program, and Photoshop, the image manipulation app. And I settled on a company called Affinity, which does it produces exactly the same types of programs at a fraction of the cost, and it's a one-off cost, and like Reaper, unlimited updates as well. So do check out Affinity for your, if you're kind of into creating art, or you need to create posters or magazines or anything like that, do check out the Affinity suite. And again, that's multi-platform, and I think it also runs on your iPad as well. So it's a great app, and secretly I hope they do one day come up with an audio app, just to see what they come up with. They might come up with an option as an opposite number to Adobe Audition, who knows. But like I say, Reaper is great. Do check it out, and hopefully that helps you. I really do say, use what you have and do it anyway. You do not need to go and buy Adobe Audition and those high monthly fees just to record and edit a podcast. You certainly don't need things like Pro Tools. I think that's mad. That's a massive, major audio production app that I've seen used in at radio stations when they're doing producing commercials. Great app for that. But I would wager and say maintain that Reaper can do everything those two big products can do just as easily, and it's well worth checking out. Okay, my name is Steve Hart. Hope you got some value from this. Do check out my website at stevehartmedia.com and hunt down my book. I think it's still listed on Amazon, Podcasting Made Easy. All right, have yourself a super week. I'll be back soon. Bye-bye now.